It was just another late-season game in the scattered Metro Conference. The Louisville Cardinals arrived at the Carolina Coliseum sporting a 16-9 record to face the 13-8 South Carolina Gamecocks. Both teams were fighting for a berth in the NCAA tournament, especially South Carolina, who came out strong, leading most of the way in this game. With less than 2 minutes to play, they appeared to have things well in hand, on their way to a crucial victory.
Of course, this is going to really throw a real monkey wrench into those standings. This will leave Virginia Tech in the lead. Manning with the steal. Oh, yeah!
With just over a minute left in the contest, the Gamecocks had built an almost insurmountable 14-point lead and had all the momentum on their side. They just needed to finish. And then...
And a 14-point lead to South Carolina. With this, Payne saves, Bradford tries for three, and there's a battle going on down inside between Darryl Martin and Curtis Ellison. Now Martin throws a bunch of the Bradford Smith, and Herbert Quirk gets after Darryl Martin. Because those guys are automatically ejected. There's apparently some fans behind the scores table that maybe got into it too, but now Curtis Ellison is trying to get over the scores table, and so is one of the other players over there. I think it's Kenny Payne. Ellison and Payne tried to go over the table. I'll tell you what, there are some unhappy people here right now.
It took officials nearly 10 minutes to break down all that had happened. When the dust had settled, a few crucial things had happened. As the fracas broke out, Louisville's LaBradford Smith hit a three-point basket. It appears none of the officials were watching the basket as it went in, and not one indicated that the basket had counted. Even after the fight finally broke up, the score was still marked at 72-58, right where it had been before the fight started. This would come back into play moments later. Both teams had 2 players ejected, with Louisville losing forward Herbert Crook and LaBradford Smith. South Carolina lost guard Terry Gold and center Darryl Martin, the player who primarily escalated the scuffle to begin with. With 2 ejections for each team, each side received 4 free throws. However, a technical foul had also been applied to South Carolina for a fan who had allegedly struck a Louisville player. This presumably added 2 more technical foul shots for Louisville, but in the end, Louisville ended up being awarded 8 free throws in total. While this was going on, South Carolina's coach, George Felton, was ejected from the game due to a rule that applied the technical foul called on the fan to him. Perhaps then Louisville was rewarded these extra 2 shots because of Felton's ejection. Even the announcers weren't sure why Louisville ended up getting 8 free throws.
Well, they've got 2 more now. I'm not sure about that. I thought the 2 ejections would bring you 2 shots for each player and 2 from the fans. Brent Price is going to shoot some down at the other end for South Carolina.
Whatever the reason, there was still 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the game when the teams attempted their free throws. Louisville shot first, making 6 of their 8 tries. On the other end, South Carolina had 4 attempts, but Terry Rozier only hit 1 out of 4. This still should have given the Gamecocks a 73-64 lead. However, after the free throws were shot, the scoreboard read 73-67 Gamecocks. There was no official call or announcement made, but clearly LeBradford Smith's three-pointer, fired as the fight began, was counted. This call should be considered a fair one, as the shot occurred right when the fight began and thus should have counted under a continuation rule. But still, there was no indication until everyone looked at the scoreboard and saw that it was only a 6-point game instead of 9.
It's gone from 14 points down to 5. Wait a minute, they have McKnight.
The score was 72-58, I thought, when we started all this.
It was 72-58. We need to check on that score. Now they got 73-67 up there. It was 72-58 when all that started, unless the scoreboard was wrong there. Terry Dozier now suddenly is on ice cold at the free throw line.
But then there was further controversy. A jump ball call was made, as it was presumably a dead ball when the fighting started, and thus possession for either side could not be established. The possession arrow pointed to Louisville, and thus, after the free throws, they were awarded the basketball. This hardly seems like an accurate call if Smith's three-pointer counted. If it was counted, in accordance with the fight breaking out, then there was no question who should have had possession afterward: South Carolina. Nobody seemed to notice this anomaly, and somehow, with no time off the clock, Louisville had cut a 14-point lead down to 6, and they had possession of the ball. The Gamecocks would have several opportunities still to ice the game. On Louisville's immediate possession after the fight, their center Felton Spencer went to the line and missed the front end of a 1-and-1, but the Gamecocks knocked the ball out of bounds. The Cardinals kept the ball, and their star performer Purvis Ellison hit a jumper to cut the lead to 4. The Cardinal then quickly fouled Gamecock center John Breckenridge, who proceeded to miss the front end of a 1-and-1 himself. The Cardinals raced down and fed it to Spencer, who again was fouled. He hit both free throws, making it a 73-71 game with 27 seconds left. And then things, somehow, got even more crazy.
Gets that defensive lineup in.
Dozier throwing long for Shaw. Payne there, Shaw balance and misses. Louisville has the ball with 23 seconds to play. Now the ball knocked loose. Payne saves to Williams. 18 seconds to play. South Carolina fighting to get it back. Dozier at the baseline. To Manning. 12 seconds to play. Price is in open court with it. 8 seconds to play. South Carolina trying to hold on and win it. 4 seconds left and a foul called on Louisville.
After almost letting the game get away, the Gamecocks seemingly had regained control, their leading scorer, Terry Dozier, going to the line to ice the game.
That's big. That is very, very big, and this one could ice it. 74-71, South Carolina.
The lead was 3 now, and all Dozier had to do was make one more to secure the victory for the Gamecocks.
Point shot. It's got to be Hawley now. Hawley fires for 3. Got it! In overtime. OT. I don't believe it. Craig Hawley just sent this game to overtime. Unbelievable. Craig Hawley, you said it was a good move when you brought him off the bench.
Biggest shot that young man has ever made in his career.
Oh my goodness. Craig Hawley.
In one of the most remarkable turnarounds in the history of basketball at any level, a wild fight helped the Louisville Cardinals erase a 14-point deficit in just over a minute. The momentum shifted completely, the Cardinals dominating the overtime that followed, cruising to a 98-88 victory and sending the Gamecock fans home furious.
Greg Hawley up to Kenny Payne for the exclamation point. That's the ball game. Louisville wins it 98-88.
This game would be a major difference maker for the rest of the season. It propelled Louisville to an ultimate first-place finish in the Metro Conference. On the other end, South Carolina finished the season one game behind Florida State in their conference. Had they held off Louisville, they would have finished tied with Florida State, who they held the season tiebreaker against. Consequentially, they finished one game back and stayed home while they watched Florida State go to the NCAA tournament. The 1988 South Carolina-Louisville game, one of sports' greatest examples of why it's important to keep a cool head and not let your emotions get the best of you. Had South Carolina kept their cool, they most certainly would have won this contest and made it to their first NCAA tournament since 1974. That's it for this episode of Game Changers. See you guys next time.